Yo, do you want to hear a scary fact? 99.9% of all of your life is just imagined. And I want you to truly think about that. I want you to truly imagine that. The only thing that's real in your whole life is just like this exact present moment right now. Like the past and the future is all just imagination, but you live your whole life literally stuck just in the past and the future. Let me give you an example. So just the other day, actually, I was gonna go like get my raw milk because every week on Thursday I go and get raw milk, but I have to drive literally like 30 minutes away from my house. So I went and I drove, and then as soon as I got the raw milk, I was about to like exit and then come back home, and then I almost, bro, like I almost got into an accident. Like it was such a close call to the point that the guy himself that like almost literally hit me, he honked for like a freaking 3 minutes honk, and then he started giving me like the middle finger and all that stuff as if like it was my fault and stuff. I think it was my fault, but still. And then when the whole incident finished, I was just stuck in like a loop of thoughts where I was just like, holy crap, I almost got into an accident. Holy crap, like this guy almost hit me, I almost died, and stuff like that. So the entire like accident incident is just, it's gone, right? Like it was finished. But like I lived through the whole car ride, just reimagining that whole incident once again. So it's like, am I really like living in the present moment anymore? I'm just literally stuck in the past right now. I'm stuck in my own imagination. So it happened because I was stuck in like that same imagination. I almost got into like another accident that same day, bro. Wherever I'm going, people just want to hit me. I don't know why. So that's when like I truly realized it's like reality is not just like the physical. The physical is part of it, but it's not like the main part of it. It's only like a minute part of it. Because even you, like you live your entire life just stuck in your imagination. And what's actually scary is that the same imagination that you're stuck in is creating like the future. So the imagination of the past is creating the reality of the future. So you live like every single moment experiencing the same things that you're thinking of, and there's like no way to get out of it. Do you know why? So there's this thing called neuroplasticity, which is basically, it's like something that happens in your brain where the thoughts that you get, like any thoughts that you get in your mind, they start like forming like bridges within your mind, like neurons within your mind. And so what happens is that these neurons, they create habits. So these habits, they usually create actions, and then these actions, they create your life. So your mind is actually malleable. You're able to like change your mind, especially if you're like below 25, then your mind is so malleable. Like that's when you're supposed to actually like feed your mind so much stuff to create a new reality. Think of it like this, right? So let's just say here, there's like two people, literally two people. Okay, so these right here are two people, right? So these two people, they want to hit like a target, right? So they're trying to like throw an arrow and then hit at a target. If this person right here, so like if they change their direction like just like this much, like just literally this much, and then this person makes their direction like this much, and they hit like this way, like just that small little change. So let's just say like you hit it, and then it goes like this. So it goes, and then it hits here. And then this small little change, like it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and then it hits right here. Like just a small change of direction is gonna change like the outcome so much. So when you're young, like this right here is when you're young. Like any little change that you do in your life, any little change that you do in your mind is gonna, by the time you're 30, by the time you're 40, is gonna have like such a huge difference because your mind is malleable. Like when you have like these neurons connecting, like that is literally creating like your entire life. And what's so scary is that most people are not even aware of the thoughts and the imaginations that they're having like every single moment. So if you're just able to like add new thoughts right here, like add new habits right here, like that's gonna set you apart so much from like everybody else. And that's how you set yourself apart from 99% of the people. So I want to share with you things, like little things that you can do, and they're actually little. But like these things, when you do them, like 10 years from now, you'll see it's like you and your friend. If you did this and your friend didn't do this, like you would be like so much like years ahead, bro. So I want to show you this practice right here. It's called Muraqaba. So this is an Arabic word, but basically what it means is just to watch. Just to watch, that's it. So Muraqaba, it's something that's gonna help you enter into stillness, silence, and pure presence. So basically having like full awareness. You know how I just said basically it's like you live your entire life just stuck in the past and the future. And then what's crazy is that like every single moment when you live like your daily life, you're never actually aware of what's happening in your mind. You're never aware of the unconscious things that are happening inside. And those unconscious things are the things that are actually creating your life. So like, shouldn't you actually be aware of these things? So that's why we do this thing called Muraqaba, which is basically like, bro, it's just meditation, that's it. It's just bringing like the light of awareness to these unconscious things that are happening in your life. And then when you bring like that light, what happens is that these things are usually false. But when you bring the light to them, that's when you start finding the truth. And then that's when you start finding also that like most of the things that are happening in your mind are all false. And you actually start getting like power over it. You start getting power into creating the life that you want. So Muraqaba, it just trains you to just have like not become attached to the thoughts that are in your mind. It's basically going to separate you, like it's going to separate the real you from the ego. And then what happens, like the ego, they say it's like the mind or the ego is like a terrible master, but it's such a good slave. So when you start having like ownership over the ego, power over the ego, you'll notice it's so much easier to control it. And it's so much easier to actually do great things in life. So it literally means to observe. And this is when you become a witness. You actually become an observer. So you go back to what you truly are, which is pure awareness, pure presence. To do this practice called Muraqaba, all you have to do, bro, is just simply sit. Just sit. That's it. And then just be. So when we say be, it just means like when you're sitting and we're saying be, it's like just be, bro. Like look at your, feel your legs, feel your hands. Just look at the moment that you're living in right now. Look at the things around you. And an easiest way to like truly get into the present moment is just focusing on your breath. So keep your attention on your breath and just become aware of any thoughts that begin to form. So when you're just focusing on your breath, you'll notice that there are going to be thoughts in your brain that are coming. So when these thoughts come, just don't react with them, don't attach to them, don't do anything with them, just simply watch them and just let them go. Just pretend like all these thoughts are just basically like waves in the ocean. They just come and go. And what's beautiful is that they truly do just come and go. When you don't attach yourself to them, you'll notice it's like, wait, like these thoughts keep coming and then going. Who's the one that's doing these thoughts? And why have I been listening to these thoughts all my life? So do not judge, simply watch them. And don't comment, don't criticize, just be. This is what it means to just be. So regardless of what your mind may come up with, just observe them, that's all. And then what's going to happen is that eventually you're actually going to start transcending your thoughts. I don't like the word transcending just because it feels like, I don't know, it has the word trans in it. But basically, the thoughts are right here, and then before you were also right here, but you're gonna ascend. So you're gonna be right here, and you'll be the one that's controlling these thoughts. It's so beautiful. So by simply observing without attachment, you'll actually begin to dissociate with your own thoughts. So this little self that your entire life you just thought that was actually you, you'll become dissociated from it, and you'll go back to what you truly are. You'll notice that all these things that were happening here, the whole time these were just illusions. The whole time you were just identified with your false self. Because also remember, shaitan always does waswasa. It always does it always gives you thoughts that you wouldn't even yourself get if it wasn't for him. So then with the light of consciousness shining upon these thoughts, they're just gonna dissolve. Because remember, when the true light comes, falsehood is just gonna go away. And what's so beautiful, all these thoughts, they created like little veils around the heart. So what happens is that when the light of awareness comes, all these veils, they're gonna get removed. So what you'll notice too is that your heart is gonna become more free, and you'll have actually a lot more energy. And this is when what's separating you with the divine presence is just gonna dissolve. So you'll notice it's that's when that hadith is gonna become true, where it's when Allah says, it's when I love my servant, I become the eyes that he sees, or the hands that he touches with, or the feet that he walks with. So you'll literally start walking with light. You'll start living your life with light. And through that, how can you tell me it's your own thoughts are not going to be creating good things? Because now you're actually the one in control of the thoughts. And because Allah is just naturally is the best, is the good, is the most merciful, is the strongest, then naturally you're going to have a life just like that. Proper practice of Muraqaba is the key. This is literally the key to actually changing your whole life. And it might seem like it's so simple, but you're thinking it's so simple because you're not aware of the real you. You're not aware of what's actually you. So don't be forming conclusions thinking that this thing doesn't work. Again, who's saying that this is not going to work? It's your own thoughts. Your own thoughts are going to come and start telling you it's no, bro, this thing, it seems like it's too simple. It's not really going to work. It doesn't really have action in it. Or some of you guys are going to come and be no, bro, this thing is bid'ah. It's not actually true. Bro, our Prophet, peace be upon him, he sat in the cave for so long before he started getting revelation. What was he doing in the cave? What was he doing in the cave? This practice of you sitting and just becoming aware of what's happening in your mind, it's so powerful. This is how you start taking everything in the Quran and actually putting it into action. Now, is this something like worship? Is this something if you don't do, you won't go to heaven according to Islam? No, this is just something that if you do, you'll notice this life is going to be good and the afterlife is going to be good. The second one that I wanted to tell you guys is this thing called Taffakur. Now, Taffakur is directly from the Quran. I mean, Muraqaba too, it's in the Quran because it says Allah is the Raqib. Allah is the watcher. So basically, you're just meditating upon a name of Allah. But this one, Tafakkur, Allah literally says in the Quran, you need to start doing Tafakkur. Now, Tafakkur, what it means, so it means to think, but not to think in a way where it's like unconsciously. It's to think in a way where it's like you're actually contemplating or you're reflecting. If you don't do tafakkur, bro, you'll notice it's like you live your whole life sitting on gold, but you won't notice this gold. Like imagine I'm sitting in this room right now, and like this room, instead of it being filled with chaos, it's filled with like a bunch of gold, but the light is off. Am I really going to be able to see this gold? I won't be able to see it. So tafakkur, what it does is that you're bringing the light and you're shining it upon the gold that's already here. So with tafakkur, what you can do is, again, you can just literally sit and it's like just literally think of anything, but then think of it like think of it deeply. So for example, if I'm sitting down right now, and then it's like I'm just thinking, for example, of like my head, right? Like, bro, like, do you realize how many freaking hairs I have on my beard? So many hairs! How did all these hairs just come here and I didn't even do anything about it? Like, who brought these hairs right here? Or it's just basically my head. Like, why is my head created here, like above my body, instead of my head being here? Like, why is the head here instead of it being here? Why is that? So the whole practice is just basically sitting and allowing whatever that comes up to just come up and then just analyze it. That's all you do, just analyze it. So just reflect upon the things that are within you. And this is not like unconscious thinking. This is actually constructive thinking. It's contemplating. And once again, most of you guys are going to be like, oh bro, but this is so simple. It's simple, yes, but like when you try it, bro, when you try it, you'll notice. Another way to actually do tafakkur is to basically think and affirm. So what that means, for example, is like, what's the only truth in the world? The only truth. The only truth is that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, the one God. And this one God is the only thing that's going to remain after everything is done. Like everything's going to go away except this one God, which is Allah. So when you're doing tafakkur, just literally take this truth, put it into your mind, and just think about it. Like if everything is going to perish except Allah, like now like start to think, it's like who is Allah? Like what is Allah? Well, look at the 99 names of Allah. One of the names of Allah is that He's Ar-Rahman. So if Allah is Ar-Rahman, like the most merciful, like so merciful that no one can ever surpass His mercy. If Allah is the Rahman, or the most merciful, do you really think you can ever have like negative realities or like negative thoughts? Like if God is the only one that's real, like can you really have like all those negative things? What you'll notice is that whatever good you experience is directly from Allah. But then whatever bad you're experiencing is directly from your own self. It's from the self that we talked about that's actually false. And you'll notice it's false when you do the first practice, which is Muraqaba. But then it's like when you truly realize it's like Allah is good and it's the only truth, like goodness is the only truth, then you'll know it's like once you actually go back to that and when you start like dissolving all the veils around you to become one with that, then can you really start having like a bad life? Can you really start having like negative realities? So when you're actually like present in the present moment, all the time, bro, all the time, when you're in the present moment, there's nothing bad. It's always good. So when I almost got into an accident, when the incident of the accident was just done, then what's left now is just goodness. That's it. Whatever else that was having, like the thoughts that I was having about the accident are just all in my mind. It's all from the self. So it's recreating like a scenario that didn't even exist anymore. Like it was just done because it's not even in the present anymore. So that's the thing. When you start living this way, you'll notice it's like things that are good are going to start manifesting a lot faster. And things that you want are going to start happening a lot sooner. And by the way, like even the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, an hour of contemplation, which is tafakkur, is more value than 70 years of worship. So when you start doing this thing about tafakkur, like that's when you'll start having gratitude automatically. That's when you'll start having like mercy towards people automatically. You need to start doing this practice. Most Muslims, for some reason, they stop doing this practice. Like bro, even like the devil himself, like you know Iblis used to worship Allah more than any human. But because he was worshipping Allah without doing tafakkur and without being grateful, he basically started doing it out of arrogance and pride to become like the best. And what happened after all? Bro, he fell. He literally fell from heaven. So don't just be thinking it's like, oh, I just gotta be worshipping and then my life is gonna be good. No, when you start thinking of Allah and then you contemplate on His blessings and you actually start to know that it's the only truth and it's the only goodness in the world, that's when once again, like this whole neuroplasticity thing, like you're gonna start having thoughts and neurons connecting that are good. And those things are going to create good habits in your life. And as a result, you'll just start taking good action automatically. You can't just be living your whole life unconsciously. That's not good, bro. Even if you're going to tell me it's like, no, bro, but like I'm praying all my 5 prayers and stuff, you're doing it unconsciously, bro. Do these practices and you'll notice it's like your whole life is going to start changing. Because what's happening is you're changing like the root cause of what's causing these realities in your life. And then through that, trust me, bro, you'll come back to this video like a month after, bro. Like a month after, and you'll tell me it's like, I did these practices and like it changed my life so much.